This broadcast is brought to you by All I Need to Know About Success, I Learned from Star Trek by author Glenn Henderson. To get your copy, go to glenntrekbook.com. Here at Level Up, last day, Las Vegas, Nevada. Joined here with Reflex of the U.S. Army. They got some amazing esports type things going on here. What do y'all guys got going on here?
So we came out here to Las Vegas Level Up. We have guys in these jerseys. We're the U.S. Army Esports team. Pretty much we have a variety of members, service members that come out. We compete in different titles such as Rocket League, Apex. Here we got, a very common, very well-known game, Helldivers 2 out here. So we got some guys that hop on, get engaged with the community out here. We got some fighter games on the side. So pretty much our mission out here is just have that engagement with people, kind of show them like what the Army offers, and just kind of have fun with it,
That's super cool. Very, very cool. You said they log in. Is that like multiplayer access, or like are they kind of playing virtually on the internet? Or
so here for Helldivers, we got these guys kind of linked in. So we have this little LAN set up, but for the Army itself, for our esports team members and everything like that, we have guys that are online at large. We compete in tournaments, stuff like that. We do have a Rocket League and an Apex team in Kentucky stationed there.
Kentucky stationed there.
And we compete full-time for the Army, get into competitions, engage with a lot of individuals, come to events, and kind of be ambassadors for what we do. But for the most part, most of our tournaments are online, and that's a lot of our engagement.
Super cool. How long have you been with the company? Is there any kind of new things or any games you're kind of looking at developing next on the level that y'all be playing and doing the esports?
I got you. So I've been doing U.S. Army Esports. We call it at large when you're at a different unit. I did that starting beginning of 2020, right before COVID. So I've been doing that for a while. I've been here doing this professionally for the Army for the last year. When it comes down to games, we try to obviously have the best competitors in the Army for those games. So for when it comes to Kentucky, we had our Apex team and our Rocket League team because those guys were the most engaged. They were the best. We were hanging with the top players, and those were more the hot games. But we have people from like Super Smash, we have WoW guys, Street Fighter, everything like that. So for us, our idea, not really any games in particular that we're trying to like focus in on or hone in on other than that, but yeah, we just try to compete where we can on every tournament.
What's your favorites you like to play? Like even if it's not an esports, just on the free time, and is there a particular one or two you like to play?
So the difficulty about taking your hobby and making it work, when you're competing and playing, a part of you will get some form of like exhaustion from it. So you want to have those free games. So like we have a buddy that does MLB. He'll be playing, and as soon as he dies, we're like, hey, what are you doing? And he's playing MLB on the side, and he was like, oh, I'm just resetting. For me as an individual, Helldivers 2 was going to be that game for me. And then I looked at it and I was like, if I play this, I don't think I'm going to be able to stop, and then it's going to affect my competitive game. So pretty much what I do now is I actually just stop playing video games. Surprisingly, I hang out with my wife, and we do things like that and go outside and like actually explore everything instead of just being in the office and competing.
The real life instead of the digital grid.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's also a big thing for us is like we try to preach that work-life balance because at the end of the day, when you look at competitors that aren't even in the military, it's exhausting, and it causes physical injuries and stuff like that. So just being able to take that step outside and start doing other things and interactions. So that's why we really enjoyed these events, because you're taking us out of our competitive zone, coming out here, talking about it, engaging with people, and start meeting and networking with others that do what we do. So
I researched some stuff that's been articles written and some scientific studies, how video games can help people with therapy-wise, with like PTSD and other things. How does that kind of play into what y'all do with the gaming and the esports and all that?
I got you. For me as an individual, I can't speak on others' behalfs, but for me, video games have always been an outlet. And I feel like most of the community, when it comes to video games in general, can probably say the same thing. When it comes to PTSD, again, for myself in therapy, being able to hop on the game and kind of remove yourself from the outer world, talk with other service members like myself about those experiences, even talking to civilian members and just having fun, being away from that space, I would say it's definitely, for myself included, and I guess I can speak for some of my friends, is exactly what we need. It helps tremendously, and I wish there was a better perspective on video games, at a more worldly perspective on it. Just the fact that it's more than just a game, and it's like a recovery thing.
It very much is, and it gives people an opportunity to kind of step back from all the stress of real life and enjoy something fun. Reflex, pleasure to talking with you. With U.S. Army here at Level Up Esports. Sci Fiction signing off.